Hello, everybody. Hello and welcome. And today, this is the second one in the series of past lives that I'm going to be explaining to you today. And this one is called The Old Viking. And just to set the scene before we go ahead, this is done through QHHT, quantum healing hypnosis. And how that works is you have a therapist who sits with you and puts you under a very gentle hypnosis. It's not something where you have no idea what's going on around you. You absolutely do. You know exactly what is around you. You're aware of sights and sounds. You can see everything about you. There is no mystery here. What I do is I keep my eyes closed, and then as the story unfolds, the therapist unlocks the door effectively to your subconscious, and the story unfolds, and out it comes, and I see crystal clear exactly. I am there at that place. I can see the sights around me, the people. I can hear what they're sort of saying, and it's the sense of how they're feeling as well. So this is called The Old Viking. So it starts by, it's all been recorded, and I am literally reeling off to you what the recording says. The Old Viking. I'm seeing the face of a wild person. Grey hair, unruly, hair unkempt all over the place. And I have a moustache and a beard. So I now realize I am male. And I'm wearing what looks like dark glass in front of my eyes. I'm going to go back to this dark glass at the end of the story. I will go back to that. Then I have a big long beard and big square teeth, very ruddy red cheeks, feels like Santa, and a really big smile. And what I'm hearing from him saying to me is, he is from the future as it was then. So that's my past talking to my future as I am here. That was quite bizarre. So I think it's connected with the sea. He seems to have been on ships. I have been on the sea. Now it takes me a while to step into this character, but I feel like it's about strength. And I'm not quite sure which character I am, but that's the one I've seen so far. So I appear to be looking at somebody in front of me. Someone who is wearing a crown on their head. It's a gold crown. They have long hair and a moustache and a beard. And in this crown, it's quite roughly hewn. It looks like it's gold. And it's got stones, roughly hewn stones that are polished, coloured stones. And they're cut in a very crude fashion. They're not highly faceted or anything. It's just shiny and polished stones. There is a pink coloured stone I can see. I'm assuming that's like a rose quartz. I can see that very clearly. I can also see a green coloured stone. Now, it appears that he is showing me something. And he is sitting in front of me on what I see as a chair, but I realize if he is wearing a crown, it's probably a throne. But he has something on the end of a sword. The sword is pointed at me. Now, within this, as I'm looking at this, I immediately feel fear because I am facing a sword. And he is showing me something. What's at the end of the sword? But I am in front of a king. I am kneeling. My head is bowed. And he wears the crown. I am not young, I'm quite old, grey-faced, and I'm wearing what looks like sackcloth, and it looks like almost like rags. I'm weary and old, and my feet have like fur boots, probably seal boots, like a seal skin. For some reason, I thought of seals. I don't know why. And that's to keep me warm. I am bareheaded, and my hair is matted and windblown. And I think I'm bareheaded because I am in front of the king. I don't think it's because I'm not wearing a hat. So I think the king has wanted to see me. He's requested to see me for some reason. And I am seeing there are a lot of coins with like a goat face on them. It's like a very roughly drawn goat's face. And these are like a silvery pewtery colour coins. And it seems like there is an exchange. And I am giving the king a bag of money, bag of coins. I am paying him coins. He has taken them and he puts them down to his side, and then he puts them under his chair. So is this taxes for lands? Not sure, but I feel like I have purchased land. And then it becomes clear I have bought land. Transaction has taken place, and that is the end of it. So I have a family, and I think that the land where I live is at the top of Norway. I feel like what is today's Norway, should I say? I feel like I'm a Viking, or a Laplander, and I am paying the king of that area for the lands. So I was asked by the therapist, are you married? Do you have a family? And yes, I have a wife. I have children. And I think I'm quite well off, I'm not going to say wealthy, but I'm quite well off. And then I see more clearly what I thought was sackcloth. It's an animal skin, like a fur. So having paid the king, I now realise I am free to go home. And it's actually quite a relief that I'm free to go. I feel that sense of relief. I'm buying the land for my family, for my sons. I am a Viking. It's cold. It's a very cold place. And I have 3 sons, and I can see them wearing 2 horned helmets. I obviously didn't have mine on in front of the king, but it's cold. It's a very cold place. People I saw in the room where the king was were wearing furs. They're wearing animal skins. So I have travelled for 3 or 4 days, either with an oxen or by an oxen, or maybe on a horseback. But I was with a group of people on this journey. I didn't travel by myself. And my sons are with me. They are taller than me, and I have 3 sons. They are about late 20s, 27-ish, 32, and 40-ish. I do believe there are girls in between, but I'm focused on the sons for this period of time. So they are big, tough men, and they have dark beards and very hard faces. They have children. I have a wife, but I cannot see her face, and perhaps she has already died. And I feel, like I say, I feel that we are definitely in the Arctic Circle. It's the Laplanders. It's either the top of Norway, what is today Norway, Sweden, or Finland. So we're wearing helmets with the horns on, and I'm wearing this fur animal skin. So they accompanied me, my sons, they accompanied me. They accompanied me to see the king. And they are now coming home with me. We all live in the same farmstead or homestead. And they also have wives, children, and babies. And it's a really good day. I'm really proud. It's an honourable day. I'm very proud because the land is barren and desolate and windswept. And the windsweptness of it That's our biggest struggle. And to be able to purchase land, I now have status. And the land is for my sons. This is new land, and it's more land than I have already. So I'm hearing at this point Thor, 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 and I'm hearing Odin. But they are gods, so perhaps that's one of the powers that rules our destinies. Don't know. So my name, I'm asked my name, and my name begins with a ha, like ha. It's something similar. And my sons' names, I can see them in front of me as I am saying their names. And this one is Sol. He is nearly 40. This one, he is 32. And his name sounds like Vinmar or Winmar. And my youngest is Val. Balden, something like that. And he's about late 20s, 27-ish, say. My God is Odin. That's it where it comes from. My God is Odin. But there is more than one God. You can see how bits of information come in at different times, and I'm able to sort of gradually build a bigger picture. So my family is the village. It is the settlement. That's my family. It's a family settlement. And I live in a stone settlement that's sort of underground. And it's like a circular stone building with grass on the roof. And it's sunken into the ground with trees laid across the roof. If you imagine like a clock face with trees with heather and grass. It's round and sunken into the ground. And I think that's to protect it from the very, very strong winds and the snow. And there's a fire. Essentially, there is a fire in the middle of this, and we sit around the edges of the fire. And I feel as though there's also another room. It's like through a tunnel, and there's also another room. And that's much smaller, and perhaps that's like an entrance from the outside. So one room protects the other from the elements and the cold, perhaps. And I'm now asked to move forward in time to the end of my life. And I can see a deer's hoof, and it's been handed over. So perhaps there is something that's a bit ritualistic. Maybe that is what happens, that when father passes the sword onto the son, as it were. Anyway, that has been handed over to Vinmar. And I now realize that Sol is not here anymore. Sol died. And I feel this immense sadness that Sol is no longer here. And I think Sol is the oldest. And there's something about me, because I'm looking at Winmar. Everything that I have worked for, everything that I own, it's all going to Vinmar. And I'm handing things over to him. He is now the head. He runs the family, because I am old and I am weary. And I have a big white beard. And I am in this stone building, this stone dwelling. And I'm lying on a bed. It looks like on animal skins in front of the fire. I have another animal skin covering me. It keeps me warm because I'm so weary. And it's this feeling I have inside of me. I don't trust my sons anymore. I believe that they have killed Sol. But I am an elder in the village. I am an elder within our settlement. And people come to me for advice. My sons were all at loggerheads. They all wanted the land. They fought over the land. I walked tightrope to keep everyone happy. And I had to listen to each side of their story. I thought that buying the land was the right thing to do, but it caused nothing but strife. try not to take sides. I try to stop the fighting. And I brought something to the table that created the fighting, and that brings me sorrow. Buying that land brought the fighting, and it cost Saul his life. They were happy times before that. I should not have bought the land. I created imbalance. I created this, and they became greedy. And I'm looking back on my life now. I see things very differently. Very differently indeed. This hollowness I have within me, looking what I created. And that, my friends, was the life and times of the old Viking. It's quite sad, really, because if you step out of yourself and you see the old man, he's proud, he's been to see the king. And I don't think it was a rare thing to see kings. I think the kings were in much smaller areas or ruled smaller areas. And if you wanted land, you had to pay a tax of some kind, or you went to visit the king for permission for this or that. But I think there was an immense pride in this. Oh, look, I bought the land and I'm there in front of the king. And then some. Later life. And there are only 2 sons. And my suspicion is, I don't believe I know for a fact, I think I'm just suspicious that the other 2 sons killed Saul. He would have been the oldest and entitled to everything. He would have taken what was, I guess, my place. And I think they killed him for that. So as a footnote, the Vikings, you remember at the start, I said that they were wearing what looked like blue glass in front of their eyes. I saw this image of somebody with blue glass. They hadn't created glasses as such, but the Vikings used a crystal called eyelight to protect their eyes. You're in the land of the winter sun, where the sun gets very low in the sky. And if they were navigating on the ships, they couldn't always see where the sun was. So they used, if it was cloudy as well, they used this low light to pinpoint exactly, so they would know where they were navigating, because in the daytime, they can't use the stars to navigate. And they used this eye light, and it was fashioned as eye coverings. I suspect it was probably just a piece that they held up, maybe attached to a stick, and they held it in front of their eyes, and it protected the sun from their eyes, so they could see where exactly the position of the sun. Instead of just being a glare, they could pinpoint it exactly. So this life was quite a surprise for me, because I am very much a warm weather person. I do not like cold weather, can't stand cold rain. I mean, today is -5 and it's like the Arctic for me. So that was, the descriptive way of it being cold and the wind and the barren, just very, everything the opposite to what I like. I love the sunshine, really. But it was a very revelation, that story. So I've had a life as a Viking. I can't put a period of time to this, but if I was to guess, I would probably say around 900, something like that. Could be much, much older than that. But I'm guessing around that period. So thank you for watching this, and if you please like, and if you feel you wish to subscribe, you think I've earned your subscription, then please subscribe as well. And I plan to do one of these each month, and there are other stories. I get visuals, I get sort of like a vision, given information from Spirit through vision and imagery. And I will put 1 or 2 of those up, because you might find those of interest as well. So I should explain myself. I'm not a medium. I'm clairvoyant. I'm able to hear and see things. I'm guided by spirit. I have been, I suppose, all my life, but it's only really in the last few years that I've really pushed forward with that. I love nature, and I believe that nature can teach us a lot if only we were willing to listen. So thank you, my friends. And until next time, namaste.